Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam amma ba'd. Ahbabti fillah. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to bless us with ikhlas, with the bad ala sunnah to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam to be away from those traits of Hizbee. And I want to remind myself, wa iyyakum, to strive your best to be on tawheed and ikhlas wa sunnah, and to avoid tafarraq, to avoid divisions and disunity and disharmony, and avoid Hizbee. And Hizbee, habata fillah, this refers to being a part of a group or a sect or a clique or a cult or any type, or even an organization in which you make your love and your hate based upon your organization, not the haqq. And we find in this day and age, earlier in the dawah, in my time of being new to the dawah to Ahl Sunnah, dawah to Salafiyah, we didn't have the same kind of discord that we see today. Today we see hatred between Salafis, and we see traits of Hizbee amongst some of our brothers and sisters. Some of the brothers and sisters have fallen into severe, maybe some are Hizbiyun khalis, that they're pure Hizbis, and some they're infected with it. And it's like we talked about before, we talked about nifaq, we talked about hypocrisy, that a person can have the trait of hypocrisy and not be an hypocrite. A person can have a trait of kufr, can fall into kufr, the minor kufr, and not be a kafir. Or even the major kufr and not be a kafir when it comes to making takfir. And we talked about that in our Nawaqid al-Islam. Let's talk about this disease of Hizbee really quickly. Some general things that we need to watch out that we see, that I've observed in this contemporary time. So, you know you're a Hizbee when you spend time defending your sheikh or group even when they're wrong. So you say the haqq is with so-and-so, meaning the haqq is with them all the time. The haqq is with sheikh so-and-so all the time. The haqq is with these groups of brothers all the time. And I've had discussions with some youth, and I said, I just want to advise you about something. And they say, I see the haqq with them. Meaning that they believe that almost everything that comes from those individuals is the haqq. And this is wrong. This leads to taqleed and blind following. And this is what Ahl Sunnah criticizes those extreme Salafis for. So we do not fall into those same traits of bid'ah. Likewise, maybe your sheikh has said some things or made something. You can't defend them in batil. That's not your job. It's not your job to even defend the leaders in falsehood. That's not the job of Ahl Sunnah. That's not what those ahadith mean. And I don't know any of the ulama of Ahl Sunnah in the past, in the present, who defend others in mistakes and say, yeah, they are going against the sunnah, they have erred, and this is, but it's from him, so it's okay. No. Instead, they'll say that, no, that's a mistake, and, depending on their status, either maintain their high status and have respect for them, or they'll leave them if they're a person of innovation who's khalis, a mubtadi'ah. The second point I want to make, you're a Hizbee when a significant a part of your life and time is spent trolling the internet looking for the faults of others. This is a trait of Hizbee, meaning those people, they go to people's YouTube channels, people's websites, people's Instagrams, people's Facebook page. That's what they do all day. They go to different people and they spread lies and fitna and discord and do things to get people angry. I don't know any Salafis that are Salafi, Haqiqi, or any Mashayikh that do anything like that. Nor do they teach us this. Even the Mashayikh that speak a lot about Ahl Bid'ah, and sometimes even some that fall into fitna, they don't even do this kind of stuff. I've never heard this. But this you come from the ignorant people who have these traits of Hizbee. So they spend time on the internet, most of their time, they don't seek knowledge, but they spend most of their time comment and saying you have the traits of this one. You have fallen into the principle of this one. And lying and making false statements. The third point, you're a Hizbee when you mostly curse other people who you disagree with, or describe them as ignorant, feigning knowledge, ahmaq, misguided, etc. So when you hear someone who's supposed to be a talib al-ilm, that mainly these are the statements they make, is criticizing others and following up the faults of others, then you have to wonder, are they falling into the trait of Hizbee? And basing these statements on those people who differ with them. Meaning not that they differ with the sunnah of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not that they differ with the nusus, but they differ with you. And they differ with your clique, and they differ with your brothers, and they differ with your group. You know you're a Hizbee when you criticize others without any strong proofs from the book of Allah and the sunnah of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and without their statements, without using their statements. I can't speak about Yasir Qadi without using some of his statements and say, I believe he's a mubtadi'ah because of this, what he said in Salafi Matters, what he said in this tape, what he said in this, and using real statements of the man. We don't just criticize and we don't lie. We can't lie about Nu'man. We can't lie about this one. I can't lie about this one. Instead, we always have to be just and on the truth. We have to be just and on the truth. But the traits of the Hizbiyin, of those people of Ahl Bid'ah, is they will lie to support their arguments and speak about others and criticize others without proof. You know you're a Hizbee when you spend time making videos, cutting and pasting the statements and pictures of Ahl Sunnah to belittle them, distort them, and their minhaj. You know you're a Hizbee when you find yourself in the middle of every argument and controversy without the tools and knowledge to debate or analyze knowledge-based issues. These are dangerous traits. And I'm saying this to warn our youth, because the youth today and the things they're involved with the social media and the access to and the tech savviness, they're destroying themselves. How is it that certain people can make high-tech videos, hours and hours, give you hours and hours of entertainment? I've seen some YouTube channels that I subscribed to and then I unsubscribed to because I thought they were Salafi, but then I looked all their videos. Everything I see is just attacking and criticizing someone. That's all it is. All it is refutations. And a lot of times, their refutations, even a significant portion, are against Ahl Sunnah. So how is it? How is it I could subscribe and be a part of that? So the point is, Ahabati Fillah, spend your time wisely, avoid the traits of Hizbiyah, and take that from the ulama, because the ulama advise this. And we ask Allah the Almighty to accept our good and forgive our evil. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.